So, you said you kind of been down in the dumps and stuff. Have you been trying to, deal with this anyway? How have you been dealing with being down in the dumps?
Well, I mean, I'm just trying to, surround myself with my friends and, focus on the better things in life.
Okay. Well, one of the other things that got brought up was a concern was it seems that you've been drinking a lot recently. Is that something that you would say is true, or how often do you drink?
A little bit. I mean, I drink with other people that drink. Social outlets. You were a college student. You know how it is, man.
What's a little bit for you?
A little bit for me?
Yeah.
I mean,
what do you consider a little bit? You said you just drink a little bit.
I don't know. A little bit for me is probably like 8 beers.
Okay.
Probably.
Let me ask you a few questions. Is that all right?
Sure.
All right. How often do you have a drink containing alcohol? And once again, everything is between me and you. Nothing leaves this room unless you say it's okay.
No, I can't. Coach finds out.
Coach won't find out. This is between me and you. This will not leave this room unless you say it's okay.
I mean, if you say so, I'll probably drink at least once a day.
Okay. So on a typical day when you're drinking, like how many drinks do you normally have? Like, do you have one or two? Do you go buy a case of beer and drink it all, or go through a liquor bottle, or what?
Usually just whatever I have access to, or I don't think there's like any specific number. I just think I just drink.
If you could ballpark it, just to give me an idea. This is just so I can get an idea.
I never keep count. Man.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
just drink until I feel great.
Okay. How often during the last year have you found that you're not able to stop drinking once you started? Like, have you ever gone out and been like, I'm going to have 2 beers tonight, just going to hang out with some friends and have a couple beers, and you never say that?
No, I never say I'm just going to have a couple.
Okay.
It's just, I go until,
Okay.
until I need to stop.
What do you mean by need to stop?
Until I stop.
Okay.
I'm no longer able.
How often during the last year have you failed to do what was normally expected of you because you had been drinking, or you were hungover? Like, have you missed appointments? Have you missed practices? Have you missed things like that?
I mean, I'm sure I missed a couple of things from being hungover, especially morning classes. I mean, ever since everything else has been going wrong, that's just been how I've tried to cope with things.
Okay.
But I mean, before that, I was normal. I guess I'm saying, I don't really consider alcohol to be a problem for me. It's just how I'm choosing to deal with it.
Have you ever felt guilty or been remorseful after a night of drinking? You wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, I'm never drinking again. Or felt guilty about something you did while you were drunk.
I just feel more guilty about the things that happen when I'm drunk, not so much the act of drinking itself.
Has that ever made you want to kind of reevaluate things, and you do things that you don't want to do when you're drunk? Has that ever made you think, well, maybe I should maybe not drink so much, or is that something you thought about?
I mean, not normally. Usually good things happen when I'm drunk, but when the bad things happen, I'll take them with stride. I mean, with everything else going on, it kind of doesn't compare.
Okay. Have you or someone else ever been injured as a result of your drinking?
Seriously injured? No, I mean, I've had friends get
Alright.
I've been, I guess I should say, fortunate enough not to have anything bad happen to me.
Okay, so you've never, like, broken anything from trying to jump off a roof or anything crazy?
I already have a broken leg, man.
I just, even before the injury.
Before the injury, I didn't drink as much as I do.
Okay.
Or at least I feel like I don't. I think I do.
Okay. Have any friends or relatives, anybody in your family or anything, ever been concerned about your drinking, or maybe said, "Hey, maybe you should not drink as much"? Maybe is that some of the issues you've had with your girlfriend? Has that been an issue?
Yeah.
Not like how much you drink.
Yeah, she usually tries to. She won't hang around when I'm drinking normally.
Okay.
Then clearly my parents don't like me drinking because I'm underage, but I feel that's typical. Yeah, my girlfriend usually. I mean, she'll take care of me on the nights that she's with me, but normally she's got her priorities, and I have mine.
Okay. So here's some of the things you told me, and I just want to make sure I've understood them correctly.
Mm-hmm.
That you tend to drink every day. You've had some issues in terms of you don't really set a limit when you drink. You just drink. You've definitely felt guilty about some things that you've done while you've been drinking, and you said that before your injury you didn't really drink this much, and that this is kind of your way of coping. And that there have been other people that you've seen some of the consequences of drinking. Your friends have had DUIs and things like that, and your family members are concerned. A lot of these issues with your girlfriend are because of your drinking, and like you said, you're not of age. You're not of legal drinking age. So I mean, do you see how this might be causing some problems in your life?
I don't feel like they're major problems. I think it's the same as any other college student that wants to have a good time.
And that may be true of some college students, but I'm concerned about you in terms of, because you've missed some rehabs, you're not really going to practice anymore, you're not supporting your team. I want to see you go back to that person that is excited about your sport and is excited about being around your friends and at practice and on your team, and maybe hopefully you and your girlfriend quit having as many problems. Is that something you'd be interested in?
With all my life with my injury, I can't. How can I be excited about practice? So I have my excitement with alcohol.
But you can be a leader on your team and help those that are younger become better.
I mean, that's true, but then what you say about the other guys on my team that drink too? I kind of see how.
Do they drink as heavily as you?
Probably not, because they actually have to perform. I don't have to perform right now.
Yeah, but you shouldn't want to sacrifice some of that for when you do come back. I think that may hurt you. Do you see that this is affecting your life in some bad ways? Would you be willing to admit that?
Yeah, but I mean, it's like phase. I don't know if this is going to continue.
Okay. Well, would you be willing, just from some of your answers and some things, obviously I'll always be here for you anytime you want to come talk, but this is a little above my expertise. I think it would be a good idea if maybe you saw our school counselor, just to maybe help you see some things differently and maybe learn some new ways to cope with your injury and being out for the rest of the season, because you said that you weren't drinking as much until this injury. Maybe she can teach you some new, different ways to cope that don't involve alcohol, and maybe your issues with your girlfriend can go away, and you feeling guilty about doing things after drinking cannot be there, and you can go to your classes because you need to keep your grades up. If you don't keep your grades up, you're not going to be playing next year anyway.
Hey, all that's true. Coping strategies I'd be interested in. I don't want to say I'm completely give up drinking. I mean, I could clearly limit the amount I drink. I'd see her just to see what she'd have to say to me. But
So you'd be willing to give it a try?
yeah, but I don't want to buy into it.
All I can ask is that you give it a try. And, you know, maybe after that first visit, you come back and to me and tell me what you think, and, you know, we'll just see how it goes from there. You're not forcing you into anything. This is your choice, but I think it would be a good idea if you went and saw our counselor. So can I go ahead and set you up an appointment with her and get in touch with you and let you know when it is? I can go with you if you would like me to on your first visit, or if not, either way, that's fine. But it'll stay between me, you, and our counselor, and no one else will find out.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for hearing me out. Thanks for not getting too angry with me. We're just trying to look out for you. You know, I want to see the best for you, and you know, learning to handle some things without alcohol, I think would be really good for you.
Man, sure.
All right. Well, thanks for listening, and I'll let you know when your appointment is.
All right, man. I
See you.
appreciate it.
See you later.
Oh.